Hello there everybody, how is it going and how have you been? I am EuclideanSqd. We're back here in Duel Links with a bit of a follow-up to the Rise of Yubel Soul Polymerization event. So I've already covered the bulk of the event, like the new rewards and the new characters and all that stuff over in the previous video that I recorded for this. I will put a link to it in the description in case you found this one first. But specifically in this video I will be showing off a decent farming strategy for the new Jaden Yubel character. The reason why this is getting its own video is because it didn't actually occur to me that Jaden Yubel would have a different deck from regular Yubel as well as different reward cards. So the farming strategy I was using against Yubel failed spectacularly against Jaden Yubel, so I had to take some time and figure out an alternative, hence the need for this separate video. And on that note, I actually couldn't find very many farming strategies for Jaden Yubel at all over on the Duel Links meta website. The main one I technically could have used, since it does require you to have Yubel as a character, and you do get to unlock Yubel in this event as well. But the main problem that I had with it is it just had a lot of ultra rare cards. Outside of just the Yubel specifically, like it also needed some Terror Incarnates and some Ultimate Nightmares, which are card drops in this event. It needed some Sangians, which are just, like, I think they're an ultra rare from some box, so that's just going to take a while to get. And it was just overall really expensive, and even though it technically doesn't violate my no event sort of rule that I do for these farming strategies, since, like I said, you can get Yubel and you can technically get most of those cards right now, I just didn't really want to use it. So instead what I've done is I've come up with a farming strategy of my own. Specifically, this is using the sort of base idea for typical Cloudian farms. I know, real imaginative there. But specifically, we have Cirrostratus and Altus, as these are the highest attack power level 4 Cloudians. This is pretty good because I'm no master strategist. I'm kind of relying on just drawing Sanctuary in the sky whenever I get it, so having these higher attack power Cloudians kind of helps cushion some of the damage that Jaden Yubel will be dealing until I can actually get the field spell in play and completely nullify battle damage. Additionally, there are golden ladybugs to raise my life points, and a Neo-Parshoth for the final turn attack that will ideally do over 10,000 damage. Now, in case you missed it, I did, and like I alluded to, I did go ahead and attempt Jaden Yubel in the previous video. I wasn't expecting to win, admittedly, because right about when I hit the duel button, I kind of realized that, oh yeah, this character probably has a different deck. And turns out I was right. Jaden Yubel's deck is very fusion focused and very fusion heavy. He has like 5 different elemental hero fusions that he can summon. He has 4 or 5 fusion spell cards that he can use. It's quite a different sort of beast from Yubel's strategy, which just kind of relies on summoning the various forms of Yubel and kind of making you kill yourself. So to that end, I have found some solutions for what Jaden Yubel is capable of. First and foremost is this continuous trap card called Non-Fusion Area. And as the name implies, while it's active, neither player can fusion summon. This is fantastic because you don't have to worry about Jaden Yubel. You don't have to worry about negating polymerization, you don't have to worry about negating miracle fusion. Just activate this card and all of that is blocked off. He can't do anything. He does technically have some spell trap destruction, but he only really has one shot with it, and at that point he can't destroy any more of your spell and trap cards. So if you have a second non-fusion area towards the beginning of the duel, go ahead and set it. Hopefully he won't target both. I'll get into that more in a bit, but basically non-fusion area walls off all of his big fusion monsters, and the only really strong attacking thing that you have to worry about at that point is elemental hero Neos. Now, obviously if you have the field spell and a Cloudian in play, you don't have to worry about that. But in the off chance that Jaden does get a Neos, or he does get a fusion monster out before you can use non-fusion area, there is this other continuous trap card, Widespread Dud. To use it, you simply select 2 face-up attack position monsters on the field, and when any of the selected monsters are removed from the field, you destroy this card, and when the card is destroyed, you destroy both selected monsters. So effectively, it links the two monsters, and when one dies, the other one dies. This actually can work pretty well with the Cloudians, since they will automatically destroy themselves if they are in face-up defense position. So specifically, if Jaden does get a Neos or one of the fusions out, you can use a widespread dud, link one of your Cloudians to that monster of his, change your Cloudian to defense mode, they both go up in smoke, and then you can just play a new Cloudian to keep him from attacking you directly. Alternatively, if Jaden has two of his monsters in attack mode, you can link both of them with widespread dud, and then use Serostratus' effect, providing it has two fog counters, to destroy one of them, and the other one will go as well. So widespread dud is kind of an emergency measure to just get rid of some of Jaden's strong stuff if it shows up before you manage to get a Sanctuary in the Sky out. But basically, once you have the wall set up, you're pretty much set and you don't have to worry about using widespread dud. And then finally, there are 3 Pot of Benevolences. Jaden does have I keep calling him just Jaden. Jaden Yubel has quite a few options for pulling cards out of their deck. He has Elemental Hero Blazeman, which can send his heroes to the graveyard. He has Neospace Connector, which can special summon a Neos from his deck. He has 2 copies of Emergency Call, which search out an Elemental Hero from his deck. So for a while, I was trying to use stuff like Jar of Greed and Good Goblin Housekeeping to keep up with him, but it turns out that Pot of Benevolence works just a bit better because you can just throw stuff from his graveyard back into his deck. It just slows him down rather than trying to speed you back up. And yeah, for as cheap as this deck is, so far it's actually been 4 for 4 against him, which, in all honesty, likely means that it will completely fail now that the camera is on. But yeah, the only real drawback to this deck is you will need someone with balance. Now, thankfully, because Jaden Yubel can be fought at the gate, you don't have to use GX characters. I just happened to be using Aster because I was in the GX world anyway, and I found him first. But if you have anybody in the regular Yu-Gi-Oh world or the 5Ds world that has balance, you can put this deck on them and it'll work just as well. And I think I actually got a little sidetracked there, but the main drawback with this deck is that it doesn't get you a very high duel assessment score. My runs tend to average right about 7,000. The lowest I've gotten is like 6,700, 6,800 or so. So it's not fantastic. It's not a perfect farming deck, but it is a very cheap farming deck. And considering the only other one that I saw was like half ultra rares, I feel like this is a big win. So I did cover some of the cards in the previous video, but I will go ahead and cover them again here, just in case people don't really want to sit through coverage of the rest of the event. But all of the cards from normal up through super rare are shared between regular Yubel and Jaden Yubel. That includes this new super rare called Evil Swarm Golem, a level 5 Dark Rock with 2150 attack and 1250 defense. As the effect, once per turn, you can target one level 5 or higher non-dark monster on the field and destroy that target. The other super rares consist of Evil Swarm Ralsveg, a level 4 Dark Winged Beast with 1150 attack and 1850 defense. Sorry, I had to cough a little. As a flip effect, you can target any face-up card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. And I believe this is also shared by Yubel, actually. Double Hero Attack. A quick play spell card that says if you control a fusion monster that lists Elemental Hero Neos as material, you can target another hero fusion monster in your graveyard and special summon it, ignoring its summoning conditions, but you can only activate one double hero attack per turn. So if you try to make a very fusion heavy deck, kind of like what Jaden Yubel does, this might be able to work in that. And actually, I can go ahead and check really quick. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The other super rare that Yubel has is this Samsara Lotus. I didn't actually notice that changed as well. But anyway, in terms of the ultra rares, there is Elemental Hero Divine Neos, and I did not actually get all 7 copies of this in the event. You could get Divine Neos from a previous event. I don't quite remember which one. I think it was the Duelist Chronicles that ended a bit ago, but I might be wrong. But Elemental Hero Divine Neos is a level 12 Light Warrior fusion with 2500 attack and defense. It has to be fusion summoned using any 5 Neos, Neospace, Neospatian, or Hero monsters, of which you have to include at least one Neos or Neospace, a Neospatian, and a Hero monster, and it cannot be summoned in any other way. So for example, you could do Elemental Hero Neos, Neospatian Aquadolphin, Elemental Hero Avian, and then any two from, and then the last two can be from any of the three categories, but you have to have one of each. And as the effect, which is actually pretty powerful, once per turn you can banish a Neos, Neospace, or Neospatian, a Neos, Neospace, Neospatian, or Hero monster from your graveyard, and this card will permanently gain 500 attack, as well as be able to use the banished monster's effects until the end phase. So, very difficult to summon card, but could be very powerful as well. And then Jaden Yubel also offers this new ultra rare, Neos Wiseman, a level 10 light spellcaster with 3000 attack and defense. Cannot be normal summoned or set, has to be special summoned from your hand by sending a face-up Elemental Hero Neos and one face-up Yubel you control to the graveyard, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Card cannot be destroyed by card effects, and at the end of the damage step, if this card battled an opponent's monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of the monster that it battled, while you gain life points equal to that monster's defense. Doesn't matter if Neos Wiseman wins the battle or not, just after the battle concludes, that effect goes off. So another very powerful card, but Neos is a monster that needs 2 tributes to play. Well, through a normal summon, there's plenty of ways to special summon a Neos. Yubel is another fairly high-level card, so playing that is probably going to be pretty difficult as well. So I'd say Wiseman is probably as hard, if not harder, to summon than Divine Neos. But again, if you manage to pull it off, very powerful monster. So, with all of that said, let's go ahead and have a farming attempt, and hopefully the winning streak continues. Now, kind of the nice thing about this deck, although it's kind of a detriment at the same time, is that there's really no straightforward opening strategy to using this thing. You just kind of have to play by ear and just kind of react to whatever Jaden Yubel does. So I'm going to go ahead and set non-fusion area. I don't have a Sanctuary in the Sky, but I do thankfully have Altus, which has 1300 attack points. And I'll go ahead and get a Widespread Dud set as well, just in case. So, alright, that's fair enough. This is actually one of the big problems in the early game, is that it seems like the first 2 of Jaden Yubel's turns, providing they don't get turn 1, this Neospatian Onslaught effect will go off, which basically will just fills all of their empty monster card zones with random Neospatians. So it could be Dark Panthers, like what he got this time. I've seen it do 2 Air Hummingbirds, I've seen an Air Hummingbird and a Glowmoss, I've seen Aquadolphin. It's completely random what he gets, but it will just go off like once, maybe twice a duel, and just fill his field up with Neospatians. So I'm going to wait and see what he does. He sends a Solid Soldier to the graveyard. I'm going to activate non-fusion area in response to his polymerization, which blocks off the fusion summoning. And he's going to use a Righteous Justice, which is his only spell trap destruction, to take out non-fusion area. I'm okay with that. Okay, so there's like 3 things I need to talk about all at once. Basically, the Neospatian Onslaught is just going to keep filling his field with monsters. The main things you will want to prioritize are any Aquadolphins and any Air Hummingbirds. The Air Hummingbirds specifically because they raise his life points and make it harder for Neo Parshoth to go over 10,000 attack, just because of how Neo Parshoth's effect works. It basically, long story short, Neo Parshoth gains the difference, like, while your life points are higher than your opponent's, Neo Parshoth gains the difference in attack power. So the higher Jaden Yubel's life points go, the higher yours have to go as well to push Parshoth higher in attack stat. And the Aquadolphin is annoying because he can just look at your hand, target a monster in your hand with less attack than one that he has on the field, destroy it, and deal some damage to you. Which means that Aquadolphin will be able to KO your Golden Ladybugs, it will be able to destroy your Neo Parshoth if he happens to have an Elemental Hero Neos on the field. Can't fucking talk. So yeah, so of all the Neospatians, Aqua Dolphin and Air Hummingbirds are the two you want to kill on sight. I'm not going to bother with the widespread dud just yet, and actually what I'm also going to do is I'm going to use this Altus's effect to clear away all the fog counters and discard a card from his hand, because in situations Dark Panther can be annoying, since once per turn it basically gets to copy the effects of any of your monsters. And there has been a time or two where Jaden Yubel has used a Dark Panther, copied Altus's effect, and then consumed all of my fog counters to discard cards out of my hand. So if you have 3 or more fog counters in play, you may want to spend them to go back down, just so that the Dark Panthers can't take out stuff in your hand. This is a lot to keep track of, but thankfully a lot of this is very situational. Again, the main things that you are going to want to watch out for are Aqua Dolphins and Air Hummingbirds. Dark Panther you really don't have to worry about, so long as you keep your fog counters low. I'm also not attacking anything because I don't want him to be able to play any monsters. Although it looks like he's just going to go ahead and summon... Oh, he's going just for Escuria, though. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it normally, but there we go. So I'm going to take 1400 damage, which sucks. But I do have widespread dud. And I'm actually going to go ahead and use widespread dud. Link an Altus to his fusion. Destroy that Altus. And there we go. Yeah, I'll destroy one of the Dark Panthers just so that he can't tribute summon a Neos on his next turn. Oh, he... Okay, I don't know what the hell the activation requirements are for that Neospatian Onslaught. He's always done it within the first, like, 4 turns of the duel, so suddenly seeing him do it on turn 7 just... I've never seen him activate it this late. I don't know what the requirements are, but... Same turn of the coin, I haven't seen him use it more than twice per duel. So this is actually getting a bit rough. I really need a Sanctuary in the Sky right now if I want to survive. Stop trying to fusion summon. I don't have to worry about any more fusions, since he's used up his Spell Trap Destruction. He can't get rid of this other non-fusion area. It's not what I needed. I'm gonna... What's he got in his graveyard? 2 Solid Soldiers, a Dark Panther, an Air Hummingbird. Don't want to put Solid Soldiers back because he hasn't used any emergency calls. I don't want to give him back an Air Hummingbird because he could technically tribute something for a Neos and make room for it. Actually, since he can't destroy my non-fusion area, I'm going to give him back his Miracle Fusions. Since these are now completely worthless, I'm hoping he will just kind of dead draw and not really get anything. And depending on what he does... Okay. This is getting really annoying, Jaden Yubel. And I lose. Okay. Well, since it's kind of early on in the video, I'm actually just going to... No, I wanted to attack Nova Master and just end the duel right there, but just so I could do a repeat attempt. But fine, go ahead. There we go. Okay, I feel like I was all over the place in that duel, because the duel is kind of all over the place in the early parts. But main points to remember are... Of his Neospace Convergence, or whatever the skill was called, destroy the Aqua Dolphins and the Air Hummingbirds. Ideally, get a non-fusion area active as soon as possible. It's okay if he uses our Righteous Justice to destroy it, because you can have multiple copies. Depending on what his field layout is, he may also only be able to take out 1 card with Righteous Justice. So if you do happen to have a Sanctuary in the Sky, this is... Alright. Alright, this is actually a much better hand. Now that I got Sanctuary in the Sky, this is a much better hand. Yes, so basically right now, with this setup, unless he gets 3 elemental hero monsters on the field at once, which I don't think I've ever seen him be able to do, he can't get rid of all of my spell and trap cards. I'm not going to... well... it's okay to attack, I'm not going to take any battle damage. Alright. Neospatian Onslaught, that's what it was called. So... oh great, an Aqua Dolphin and an Air Hummingbird. Fantastic. Well, there goes my Golden Ladybug. Thanks, jerk. Hey, I drew a new one. Cool. Screw you. Alright, so... actually, yeah, let's just go ahead and get the non-fusion area activated. Go to battle phase, and... no, take out the dolphin. I really don't need him taking out any more of the ladybugs. Don't summon another dolphin. You asshole! Okay, I might have to use some of my Pot of Benevolence to recover some golden ladybugs for me. But of course he gets 2 Aqua Dolphins. Alright, well, because I don't have a monster in my hand, I'm going to take out Air Hummingbird so he can't start healing. And this is sort of what I meant earlier when I said that you kind of have to play the early parts of the duel by ear. Because the Neospatian Onslaught is random as to what he gets, you just kind of have to figure out what is the biggest threat at the moment and take it out. Do not fill up your spell trap card zone, because you will need to be able to play Pot of Benevolence, because it is more than likely possible for Jaden to empty his deck well below yours. So you will need those Pots of Benevolence to send stuff back. I'm going to go ahead and take out the Aqua Dolphin now. And I think both of his Neoses are in the graveyard now, aren't they? I really need to get rid of this thing. He's milling his deck way too fast. And actually, I don't think I can recover my golden... no. If he manages to empty his deck by even just one more card, I can't recover my Golden Ladybugs. Because at that point, he will be so many cards ahead that I would need to use all my Pot of Benevolence power just to balance things back out. Now, I mean, admittedly, in a situation like this, you could also just let him empty his deck and then let him, you know, lose via deck out. That works too. Won't get you nearly as many points as if you've gotten the Neo-Parshoth win, but it works. And yeah, so far, I'm kind of okay. And unfortunately, he does have 2 elemental heroes in place, so... never mind, this will take out some of them. Alright. So, alright, both Neoses are in his graveyard, so once his monster card zones are filled up, I don't have to worry about another Neospatian coming out. I'm trying to think, is there anything non-threatening that I can throw back in his deck? Considering he wasn't using Blazeman, I don't want to send back the Solid Soldiers, because he'll just use his Blazeman to send them out of his deck anyway. So... I'm going to hold off on using any of the pots just yet. I actually just don't want to send any elemental heroes back at all. Not even Blazeman. Because even though Blazeman can't target it, he can just search it out with Emergency Call. Okay, there's a Neospace connector. And that's creating another elemental hero, which is not great. Okay, tosses a Miracle Fusion, that's fine. Actually, just to help me out a teeniest little bit. And because I just drew Neo Parshoth and I really don't want him destroying it. Killing his Aqua Dolphin. And now he's not using Neospatian Onslaught. That's the thing, is like, I'm okay with some of these like event-only skills that Konami creates for these characters. I just wish they kind of told us somewhere how it worked. Because I honestly don't know. Anyway. Another widespread dud. Kind of surprised I haven't even found an Altus yet. But anyway. I can send back Miracle Fusion and Polymerization. So I have the non-fusion areas. I don't necessarily want to use a widespread dud just yet. Can't destroy any of his monsters right now, so no point in trying. Here's an Altus. Alright. So we're going to use you. Drain away the fog counters before the Dark Panther can. Take out a random card. And then hit him with this. And don't be afraid to do battle damage to Jaden. This deck can't get you the victory with effect damage only. Like, it doesn't have Vassal and that sort of thing anywhere. So feel free to like kind of chip away at Jaden Yubel's life points whenever you get the opportunity to. It'll help in situations like this where he kills 2 of your golden ladybugs right off the bat. Speaking of, I think it's okay to now send a ladybug, and Dark Panthers are pretty much always a good thing to send back into his deck with Pot of Benevolence. Just, again, the only time they're dangerous is if you have too many fog counters in play. So I'm hoping, now that I have 2 ladybugs in my deck, and basically a 25% chance to draw one, I can actually start gaining some life points here. There's another Dark Panther. I don't know why I've kept this other non-fusion area face down for so long. I might as well. He can only take out 2 cards, so he's either going... So his AI will probably prioritize Sanctuary in the Sky, just so he can start doing battle damage. But regardless... actually, how did he... Did I miscount? Because I just realized he's several cards ahead again. I thought if I had used Pot of Benevolence to send back 5 of his cards and one of my ladybugs would be even. Did he draw a card somehow? Or was I just not paying attention? I don't remember. Not gonna bother. Yeah, no point in summoning the other Cirrostratus. I just don't want to give him an opening to like just suddenly play an Aqua Dolphin that he's been keeping in his hand. Go ahead and keep gaining life points. Let's go ahead and just... just leave his field like this. Don't give him a chance to play an Air Hummingbird or an Aqua Dolphin or anything like that. Got another Sanctuary in the Sky, which is fantastic. And there's his Our Righteous Justice, so like I thought, he targeted Sanctuary in the Sky, so I'm going to take a bit of battle damage here, which sucks. And basically undid all of the healing that I just got from that Golden Ladybug. So, like I mentioned, this is not a perfect farming deck by any means, but it is a cheap one, and it works. So, if you've been having bad luck farming Yubel for cards, Where's something I can send? Where's a good thing to send back? Yeah, screw it. I'll just send back 2 Aqua Dolphins. He doesn't have the room to play him anyway, so what does it matter? Yeah, so if you've just been having really bad luck trying to get copies of the Yubel cards, or if you just don't have the rest of the Ultra Rares necessary to make that really expensive deck, maybe this one can work. I want to keep the Dark Panther there just so that I have a better target to attack next turn. I should still be able to deal enough damage to win, at least. It actually just occurred to me as well, I could have played Neo Parshoth a lot earlier, and then just started attacking Jaden's monsters and doing a little bit of piercing battle damage to help increase the difference, but too late now. Okay, well, actually, I will do over 5,000 damage, so that is some bonus points at least. And yeah, so no real solid strategy from this deck except just kind of, you know, setting up the basic walls and then just reacting to whatever Jaden Yubel does. But like I said, it works. Okay, so this is definitely the lowest score I've gotten. Outside of this, I promise you, I have always gotten over 6,000 points at least. If you have some results boosters built up, you can go ahead and use those to kind of supplement the low score that you're going to be getting with this deck. But otherwise, yeah, that's the really cheap farming option that I came up with for farming against Jaden Yubel. So with that, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all had a great time, and I hope you all have a great day. And I will see you all in the next one.